Good afternoon, Greedy. How are we doing? It is indeed a pleasure being here with you once more. As you know, I am Miss Campbell and I will be your teacher for this session. How was your weekend? All right, had any fun activity? Okay. All right, so do we have any questions, any concerns? No? Yes? All right, not a problem. So since we have no questions, no concerns, then we are going to jump into our session. As per usual, I would remind us that this is a serious time, so we got to go and get our laptop charger, our phone charger, our books, whatever it is that you need for this session, because we are about to jump right into it. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you. We are going to jump right into our session. All right, so for this session, our objectives are now by the end of this lesson or by the end of this session, you should be able to define pun. You should be able to describe a pun and why these are used by authors. You should be able to identify 3 different types of puns, right? You should be able to create and illustrate a homophonic pun and a homographic pun. Now, those are our objectives that we will be focusing on. So, what I want for us to do quickly, yes, we are going to go ahead and we are going to get into groups of twos. Some of us will be in groups of threes, right? Because we're working with odd numbers, all right? But nonetheless, go ahead and we're going to go into groups of twos, all right? Are we ready? We're there. All right, so now I'm going to give you a minute. So I always love to have my timer on, right? Always like to use my timer. So I'm going to give us a minute to respond to these questions. I'm going to ask you the questions and you're going to respond to them. Now, the questions are, what is a pun? So in your groups, right, you're going to state what is a pun and have you ever read a book where the author included puns? So let me start my timer here so you're able to respond. All right, so let the timer, here we go. So 5 seconds, we should be wrapping up, right? All right, and our time is up. So we should be finished. So again, you're responding to what is a pun, and have you ever read a book with which includes puns, right? So keep those information. So we are going to place our attention on an informational copy. So I'm going to show it to you. I'm I'm going to allow you to view this. Now, when I show you this, you're going to read the sections on unstoppable puns and the types of puns. So let me show it to you. So this is the document you're going to pay attention to. Unstoppable puns. Now it talks about a pun. So based on your definition earlier on, you're going to see if in your groups you were actually correct, right? So you're going to pay attention to the unstoppable puns and the types of puns. Specifically, you are paying attention to homophonic puns and homographics puns. All right, so I'm going to give you just about 7 minutes to complete this task. So what will happen? You are going to answer some questions for me. Read this reading, right? So you're going to answer some questions for me. So I will show them to you after about 4 minutes. Well, about 3 minutes, right? So I will allow you to answer the following questions. So let me get my timer on for 7 minutes. I know, Rajay, I really love my timer. I know. All right. So I'm going to share my screen again with you so you're able to view the information accordingly. All right, so here goes. Let me get the timer on. All right, so we have about 5 minutes. So after 30 seconds, I'm going to show you the questions that you're responding to. All right, we have just about 2 minutes. All right, so we should be wrapping up now. We have just about a minute. And the time is up. Our time is up for sure. All right, so what I want for you to do, you're going to go ahead and just keep your responses, right? So we will well, when I'm going to explain to you, you're going to see where you've gone wrong, and if it is that you need to, double check on some of the answers, make your changes and so forth, right? So ensure that you keep your answers. So now what we're going to do, i'm going to I am going to ask you, well, it's supposed to be some jokes, some pun jokes. So I'm going to ask you some pun jokes. Well, I'm going to share them with you rather. I'm going to share them with you, and you're going to give me your answers for each of them. So with the jokes, you're going to share your answers. All right, are we ready? Ready, ready, ready? All right, so let's go. Let me just stop sharing this screen for a second. All right, I think I have it in the presenters mode. This is how I want it. All right, so the first one, now I can share my screen again with you. Now I can share my screen with you again. All right, so I think it's coming up lovely. The first one is, why is a fish easy to weigh? So we're dealing with the puns, right, and the jokes. So let me put it again in the presenters mode. So we're dealing with puns. So why is a fish easy to weigh? Why is a fish easy to weigh? What's your answer there? Okay. And the answer is because it has its own scales. Yes, yes, Daniel. All right, so the second one. Why did the lion spit out the clown? Why did the lion spit out the clown? Let me double check my screen here, because what's your answer there? So why did the lion spit out the clown? Because it tastes funny. We know that clowns are supposed to be funny, right? All right. Why did the turkey cross the road? Why did the turkey cross the road? Okay, all right. Okay. And the answer, to prove he wasn't chicken. All right, the next one. Did you hear about the man who lost his left side? You're saying yes. So yes is the answer? No. All right. And the answer, it says, is all right. No. You see the pun there? So is all right. No. Okay. Now, what does reading while sunbathing make you? So, what does reading while sunbathing make you? And the answer is, it makes you well read. So it makes you well read. So one more to go. Let us look at one more. One more to go. So a mushroom walks into a bar, sits down, and order a drink. The bartender says, "We don't serve mushrooms here." So you want me to read it again? Okay. So a mushroom walks into a bar, sits down, and order a drink. The bartender says, "We don't serve mushrooms here." And the answer for that, the mushroom says, "Why not? I'm a fun guy." All right. So that is the end of it for the jokes, right? That is the end of it for the jokes. So in fact, what I want us to understand, when we talk about a pun, right? It is really a figure of speech, which we know that exploits a word's meaning. So it is often said to be, play on words. So for example, man like a tree and a leaf. Puns are often used in writing to create humor. So just as how we've just gone through the game there, the pun jokes, right? It's said to be funny, so it creates humor. Another word for a pun, is paronomasia. And let me spell that for you. It is PARONOMASIA. So paronomasia. So that's another word for pun. So anywhere that you saw that you come across this word, paronomasia, it is the same thing as pun, right? And it means a change in a name. So puns can add to writing, and in some cases are used as Easter eggs and unexpected hidden jokes to entertain perceptive readers. So it's really a play on words. Any questions thus far? Any concerns? No questions, no concerns? All right, so we are looking at some types of puns. Now, specifically, we're looking at homophonic pun and homographic pun. So, puns can be classified in different ways. Yes, it can. And depending on the intentional effect of the phrase, right? So it can be used in different ways depending on the effect of the phrase. Puns can put similar sounding words together, pair words with similar meaning, or play on a word with multiple definitions. Now, and I'm pretty sure that you can recall, because we've looked at homograph already. We've looked at homophones. Yes, so you should be well aware of this, right? So as I said, that there are different ways to use it, and really for fact there are 5 types of puns, but we are going to place emphasis on only 2 for this class, for this session rather. So when we talk about homophonic pun, what is it we're really talking about? Now a homophonic pun uses paired homonym. And what do we mean? Anyone want to share? When we talk about homophonic pun uses pair homonyms. What are homonyms? All right, so words that sound the same but have different meaning, right? So when we talk about homophones, we're talking about what? Words which really have the same sound but different meanings, right? And when we talk about homonyms, what are we talking about in general? Right, so that is the broad umbrella. Right, that is the broad umbrella, multiple meaning words. I see you're recalling there. Awesome. So words that sound the same but have different meanings. For example, why is it so wet in England? Because many kings and queens have reigned there. So the pun really interchanged the word reigned and reign, right? So, for example, in the first sentence there, rain as in rained, right? So it rained as to why the place is wet in England, right? But then the king and the queen have reigned there, have reigned in England. So they have what? REIGNED. Yes? So we're seeing that the words, they sound alike, but the meaning, it is different, right? So it means on the context there. So with the homographic pun, it is really play on words that are spelled the same way but have double meaning. Do you remember when we look at bat and bat? And we also look at tear and tear. Do you recall in other in previous lessons? Awesome. So because these are puns and they rely on spelling, they are visual and not to be read. They are visual and must be read to be understood, right? So you must see it in context for you to really understand these. All right, any questions? Do we have any questions, any concerns? No? Yes? All right, so since there are no questions, are we able to look at, to do an activity? Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to give us about 5 minutes to complete this task. Or if in case you're able to complete it before, that's okay. Because I see we all have my students are quick. So let's go. I have sent the link in the chat, so click on the link. Click on the link there in the chat. All right. What's happening with the internet? So we're looking at just about 10 of these. You're going to answer 10 questions, right? So I'm giving us about 5 minutes to answer them. Let me get the timer. Do we need the timer? No? All right, so go ahead, and I think I need the timer. I love my timer. So we're going to answer these accordingly. Let's go. If you're able to finish before the 5 minutes, that's okay. So you're at number 10. Awesome job. So let me take this timer off. So we are at number 10. Awesome. So some of us worked really fast. That's amazing. All right. So that was your activity there. For those of us who need more time, you can just click on the link, and after which you can submit it, right? So not a problem there. Now for your assignment, what I want for you to take note of, as I said earlier, that there are 5 types of puns. We've looked at 2. So you are going to go ahead and research the other 3. You're going to do that. You're going to make note, of the definition and any other important supporting detail that you're able to find there. All right. So ensure that you do that, because I will be checking on these. All right. So just to recap, we talked about puns, right? A play on word. We looked at the homophonic pun and also the homographic, right? And when we talk about the homophonic pun, what did we say again? So it's pretty much words that sound alike, right? So they sound the same, but they have different meaning. And we look at rain versus rain, right? So REINED versus REIGNED. We talked about the homographic, which we know these refers to what? The same spelling of the word, but they have different meaning. All right, any questions? Do we have any concerns? Any questions, any concerns? No? Yes? Maybe so? Not a problem. Since we have no questions, no concerns, then I'm going to say bye for now.